like I said, a confidence coach for women. I kind of wanted to talk today specifically about, like, it seems like a lot of the lives that I do have two different accounts, and my other account has a larger following. But on that account, a lot what came up was talking about, like, dating and having, like, you know, issues with confidence when you get out of a relationship. That can be, like, a challenge and a struggle because you can question your sense of self-worth. And a lot of the times in relationships, people have a tendency to lose themselves, right? And it's not intentional. It's just you start to prioritize someone else's needs inadvertently over your own. And in that process, you kind of start to self-abandon, and then you kind of forget who you are. And then when the breakup happens, you're left feeling like a shell of yourself because your identity was kind of wrapped up in the other person. And so a lot of people struggle with knowing that they are enough right after a breakup. So I wanted to talk about that a lot today. If you guys want to talk about that or anything else that's confidence related, I do talk about love, life, and leadership when it comes to confidence. So welcome in. If you're new, please drop in the comments where you're from, because I love to see where all of you are from. But I think that a lot of the times people just have, self-esteem issues post-breakup because they question, did they say the right thing? Did they do the right thing? Did they overextend themselves? Did they do enough, right? Are they enough? And a lot of people start to question why they weren't chosen or prioritized or why their needs weren't met. So when you come out of a breakup, a lot of times that can happen. Plady said, hey, hope you have a nice day. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you guys so much for joining. We're talking about confidence and love and, like, breakups. For me, I know personally, post, like, relationship, and it doesn't have to be any sort of serious relationship too. It can be situationship, whatever it is. Regardless if there are feelings involved, then, your confidence can take a turn. And so it's just really, like, hard to kind of rediscover yourself after a breakup. So I know that for me personally, after breakups, I have questioned whether or not I was enough, and really questioned, like, whether or not I was worthy or deserving of love. And I really questioned why I was never chosen or prioritized. And so, yeah, it's just one of those things where I think we all live through different experiences. And I think the more that we talk about them, the more we realize that we all have similar feelings, right? Us as humans, we go through the same situations that are very similar, and a lot of times we cope in silence and we cope alone. And so when you have a sense of community, you start to realize, like, oh, I'm not alone, and I'm not the only one with these kind of, like, invasive and intrusive thoughts. And you start to recognize that you do matter, and that you are important, and that you are unique. And if somebody else doesn't see your worth, that doesn't mean that you're not worthy. So I think that is, like, key to understanding and knowing your value, is knowing that you don't have to rely on someone else for your source of happiness. So, and a lot of the times I do see, dating TikToks online, and people do talk about, crashing out too after breakups. People have, like, really big, like, emotional reactions. And when you can learn to regulate your reactions, you become extremely powerful. So that's, like, really, really important to learn those sorts of things. Hola, hello. Yeah, my confidence is shot, especially when talking to ladies. Oh no, what specifically? Sometimes it can be, like, intimidating to approach someone. And I know with men, like, you guys have it's so different because you guys are actually typically the ones that approach women. And I know that has to be hard because there's always, like, fear of rejection. So I think that that's a lot to deal with. Sorry, the chat is going fast. Oh, thank you, Tyler. I typically ask, what is your definition of love? Are you asking me that, or are you saying that's what you typically ask people when you go on dates? For me, love is radical acceptance of someone else, right? It's unconditional. And when I say unconditional, truly, it's not like I like this person and I wish that they were X or Y, or that they had, this, status, or I wish that they were nicer or better in this area of their life. It's truly radical acceptance of yourself or of another person. And you do that in a way that is unconditional. Thank you so much, Jose. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for the follow. You just make them laugh, bro. It doesn't matter what you look like. It's very intimidating to approach. Plus, I live in my head often, and that's why I dance alone at clubs. Yeah, I can understand that. A lot of the times so think about it like this. Our life, all that it is a story that we tell ourselves. Like, truly. Like, what's going on in our head is our perception of life. Everything in life is neutral, if you think about it. Nothing has meaning until you assign it meaning. So if you go to a club, for instance, and you want to approach a woman and you're like, oh, what if she rejects me? What if she doesn't like me? Those are all thoughts that you are creating, right? So you can invest your energy and your thoughts into something else of like, hey, maybe I shoot my shot and she gives me her number. And if she doesn't, then it just wasn't aligned. Like, that to me would feel so much better of a thought going into it, because it's like you put yourself out there and you took a risk because you had blind faith and trust that things could work out. You weren't worried about all of the what ifs of what could go wrong and the negative aspects of it. And if it does go quote unquote wrong, it's not that it's wrong, it's just not aligned for you, right? So it's just like, it's redirection, truly. It's just like, hey, the universe, God, source, inner knowing, whatever it is that you believe in. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate the daily heart me. That is guiding you just in a different direction. That's it. Like, so when you can kind of change the narrative in your head, you can kind of make bolder decisions and just know that you'll be able to handle anything that comes your way. And that's the other thing that I always say about confidence, is it's truly just knowing, and it's having that undeniable self-trust that you can handle anything that comes your way. Because at the end of the day, we can't predict the future, right? You don't know what is going to happen. You just have to know that you can stay steady in yourself and know that whatever comes up, good, bad, or indifferent, that you have the tools within yourself to handle it, because you've always handled it, because you're still here and you're still standing. You have survived every single hurdle that has ever come your way because you're still here. So if you can just know that you can get past it, then you're golden. I pose this question to everyone because it helps ground us in understanding how to pursue it. I love that, Alpha Legend. We are worried, but we still do it. Of course, right? I think it's only natural to worry. I remember I was watching something and there was this older woman and she was just saying, to worry is pointless. And when she said it like that, it took the power out of worrying when she said it, because for me, it like trivialized it. It made it so that like, yeah, why am I worrying about something like that's such an energy suck? There literally is no point in worrying. We're sitting there fixating on what ifs that you have absolutely no control over. So whenever I start to spiral or go down the rabbit hole and start to worry, I just say, you know what? Worrying is pointless. Why am I doing this? And what can I do instead that is in my control that will move me towards whatever, it is that I desire? And it's not that I never worry. I'm not saying that, because it's innate, it's inevitable, it's always going to come up. But it's just acknowledging the feeling when it does come up and then redirecting it, right? And that's not to say that you should suppress your emotions, right? It's acknowledging it, feeling it, calling it out in the moment, and then say, okay, what can I do to empower myself in this moment? How can I shift this energy? Because right now, this energy doesn't feel good to me. Thank you so much, Montano. Sorry, I'm behind on comments, so I'm scrolling. Ty said truth. Greatest ever said good morning. Happy Sunday. Good morning. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. Worry about nothing and pray about everything. Yeah, that's a good one too. Thank you so much for joining. Why is confidence so attractive? I think confidence is so attractive because it just means that you're self-assured. You're rooted in who you are as a person, right? And I always say confidence is not steady state. Like when people say like you're a confident person, that doesn't mean that that person doesn't have insecurities, because I wholeheartedly believe everybody has insecurities, whether if it's your body, your job, your bank account, your voice, whatever it is, there's always something, right? It could be public speaking. It could be changing a tire you're insecure about, if it's something that, you know, you feel like you should know and you don't know. Whatever it is, insecurities will come up. Confidence is having the trust and the faith and knowing that you can get through it. So it does truly ebb and flow. So it's not steady state. It's knowing how to return home to you and being in your knowingness. So that's why I think confidence is attractive, because it's like you almost become magnetic, because people can feel that energy of like, I know myself. It's not that I know everything. I just know and I trust myself. Black women becoming her. When I start to worry, I find something that is also true but feels good, and then I focus on that. I love that. Yes. Because a lot of the times when we are worrying, we're worrying about something that's typically a lie, right? It's a lie saying like, I'm not good enough, or, you know, what if they hate me? Most of the time it's like most of the time doesn't it pan out, and it's like usually the complete opposite, and people aren't thinking that. So it's like, tell yourself something different. Tell yourself something that's more empowering. Zeus said, hi, where are you from? I'm from DC. Ty said, confidence ebbs. Yes. Don said, your makeup. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to take it as you like it. So thank you. Thank you for the follow. Seeing people get jealous and bash confidence because they think it's pride. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a difference between confidence, I would say, and arrogance. But honestly, that's just other people's perception. And one thing that we can't control is what other people think. So if they get jealous, fine on them. I just know that it's not going to have an impact on me and the way that I walk through life and the way that I move through life. So that's, again, what a confident, quote unquote, person would do, is just know that they're rooted in their self. And they also know that they can't please everybody. Like, I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. There's literally, every time I get off these lives, it's crazy to see that thousands of people come through. And right now I have 9 people on. And that's fine, because I might not be everybody's cup of tea. But for you 9 people, you were attracted and drawn in, and you're here with me. And that's awesome. And that's great. And so it's just like, you have to realize that you're not going to be for everybody. And when you start performing and trying to people please and start to, want people to like you, that's when you start to shrink yourself, and that's when you start to self-abandon, because you start, molding and shape-shifting yourself so that people will like you, and that's not authentic to you. Yeah, let them respond. That's not your concern. Exactly. Yes. Hello, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you so much, Atomic. Yes, your eye makeup is beautiful. I'd love to watch your tutorial. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I have not filmed one. I might have to do that. Maybe I'll do that. Ty said the truth. I realize everybody don't like chocolate. Exactly. I mean, you can't be for everybody. Thank you so much for the follow. Brennan, hello. Hey, how are you? Alignment, not rejection. Exactly. Thank you. You too. Have a nice day. Yeah, so when you can embody who you are, that just like takes you to the next level, and that's really what makes you confident. I know for me personally, like, I've had to make some really big decisions this year specifically. Like, I walked away from my 9-to-5 that I was there for 13 years, and I had to go out and started my own business. Like, this is my business, is doing confidence coaching, because it felt in alignment to me. I was like, I would really regret at the end of the day on my deathbed knowing that I never took the risk and that I just played it safe for the sake of health insurance and a 401k. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. That is very normal. But for me, I was like, this is not the life that I want to be living right now. And for me, I decided to make a radical change because I was like, I've been saying this for years and years, and I just have come up with excuse after excuse after excuse, and enough is enough. Because for me, I'm 37 and I'm not getting any younger. And so it's like, are you going to make the change or are you not going to make the change? And so time is passing you by. You're not happy. You're not fulfilled. So do you have the trust within yourself to do what it is that you say you want to do? And so an opportunity came up and I decided to walk away from the life that I knew and start something new. And it's not that I wasn't afraid. It's not that I had some master plan either, because I actually really didn't even have a plan. I just trusted myself and my capabilities and my knowingness that I could handle anything that came up. And if I needed to get another job, I'm not an idiot, right? I can get another job. And so it's just like, I wanted to take the risk and bet on myself and see what, would pan out. And I would rather know that I tried than to live a life knowing that I never went for it. So that's to me what confidence is really like standing on your truth, embodying your truth. And when I say embodying it, it's not just saying it, right? It's taking those actions that align with it. Oh, you're going to watch the new Avatar? I love Avatar. You'll have to come back and let me know how it goes. Are you Ethiopian? No, I'm not. I am African American, Black. Drifting on. Thanks for your thoughts. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for the follows. Playing it small. Yeah, playing it small is just not something I could do. Exactly. Team no regrets. Yes. Because it's just like, I can't, I would be so disappointed in myself if I never went for it. Like, I don't think I could live with myself knowing that I didn't even try. Amen. Yes. Why are you crying? I'm not crying. India, welcome. How are you? The inner God. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for the follow. Yeah. So what brave things have you all done this year? With the year coming to an end, is there anything this year that you did that you're proud of? And is there anything that you're like, I didn't really get this done, and 2026 is right around the corner and this is something that I want to focus on? And not that you have to wait until the new year, because I'm a firm believer. Start now. Like, literally, now is the current present moment. Now is all that you have. So definitely go out there and just start now if you feel so called to do that. But I think the new year is definitely a point of reflection where you can like get intentional on the life that you want to live or the goals that you have in mind for yourself. So then that way you can, achieve them. And it's like there's this collective energy in the air. So that's why I do like New Year's resolutions. I know some people are not a fan of it. And I'm just like, you know what? It's, I think, great to have like the collective power and, like positivity behind it. And yes, some people fall off, but it's cool, like at least, in the beginning to know that you're like in a tribe and you're on a team and that everybody's kind of going after their goals. It's just like renewed, fresh energy. I wrote a book. It's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Oh, go get it, University. I love it. Is that the name of the book? If that's the name of the book, I love that. That's amazing. It's a story of your life. That's awesome. That's amazing. Off probation, doing better. Okay. Hey, look, celebrate everything. Yes, that's amazing. 26 will be the best year of my life. Yes, claim it. That's what I'm saying too. 2025, and I'm very like a positive person, and 2025 was not my favorite year, but it did teach me a lot and it made me move in ways that I would have never made. You know what I mean? It really just stretched me in ways that I didn't even know that I needed. So yeah, I am definitely looking forward to 2026. OGTNT, I'm good. How are you? I was married for 20 years. She died with breast cancer and my brother suicide, and not talk about it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, those are big topics, and I'm sure a lot of people can benefit from reading a book that covers those and they can relate to it. So, yeah. No, I figured that's what you meant, Kirk. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Did you have a breakup this year? I would say it wasn't a breakup, but just a relationship come to an end. And when I say like breakup, right, it doesn't have to be romantic. It can also be friendship, right? Because friendship breakups are extremely difficult as well, right? Like those to me are sometimes almost even worse than like a romantic breakup, because there's nothing like a beautiful best friend that you have, and when you completely trust someone in that way and they're like your rock, that can really hurt to not have them in your life. So I think when any relationship comes to an end, whether if it's friends, family, or romantic, it's just hard, right? Because you cared about the person and they're in your life one day, and then the very next day they're not. And it's just, it's a very jarring and stark contrast if you think about it in that way. It's like, wow, I, spent all my time talking to you and now all of a sudden, we don't speak. And I was watching this reel the other day, and this girl was saying, I went to go send you a text and then I remembered we don't do that anymore. And I was like, oh, that makes me so sad, because oftentimes that's how it is. You'll still see things that remind you of the person. And then when that happens, it kind of brings up old triggers and traumas, and it can be, that's the challenge with getting over friendships and breakups, and that's where your confidence does start to rock, because you do question the actions that you took during that time, the role that you played, and then really triaging it, right? Because when it starts to crumble, the foundation of the relationship, you question if you made the right choices. Should you have given it another chance? Maybe you should have stuck it out a little bit longer. Maybe you should have said something sooner. Maybe you shouldn't have said that one thing. And that's the hard part, is dealing with the aftermath. And that's something that I talk about in a reel that I just filmed coming up, is nobody talks about how hard it is to set a boundary and then deal with the guilt after you set a boundary, right? Because you start to question, am I being selfish? Did I make that right choice? And, am I putting other people's, feelings aside to satisfy my own needs? And setting boundaries is one of the boldest choices and boldest decisions you can make, but nobody talks about the guilt and the loneliness, honestly, that comes with it after you do set a boundary, because setting boundaries are hard. Just leave him. Well, it just depends on the situation. I make unique clothes, ghetto Christian style, if you will. Okay, cool. I love that you guys are sending each other love. Thank you. That hurts. My wife has been gone for 4 years. The holidays are hard. Yeah, this time of year is definitely hard for a lot of people. Gone forever, enjoy the moment. Yes, exactly. I survived a narcissist and entered it into a pick-me and leaving as her, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the fact that you can identify that the person was a narcissist and you were able to get out of that, because a lot of times with narcissists, it's really challenging because you start to question your sanity, right? Because that's the whole thing with a narcissist, is the blame is put back on you. So you start to question dang, what did I do? Is this my fault? And you really start to get in your head, and there's this internal psychosis that goes on, and you're not really sure what actions you're taking, and it can feel like you're walking on eggshells, and you're not sure what moves are the right moves. And so the fact that you were able to just navigate that, I commend you and congratulations. And I hope that you are doing more than better than ever, because that's a tough one to come out of. Real friends are 1 in a million. I agree. Real friends are very hard to come by. It's hard to open up and to trust people. And then when you do that, it's so liberating and it's so freeing, because it's like, wow, I feel so seen. I feel so heard. I feel so loved. And then to have that relationship just crumble and come to a halt and an end, and it's like, well, where's my person? Like, I want to go to you and talk to you about what just happened in my day, but I don't know if I can trust you, or I don't know if I can lean on you, or you're not available to talk to me because we're not speaking, or whatever the reason is. So it can just be really challenging. So everything is temporary, everything, when you think about it. Oh yeah, totally. Because all we have is the present moment. So everything is, temporary. Nothing is forever. So that's sad. B said, I am overmet. Sometimes it happens like that. Are you Puerto Rican? No. Life is a journey to oneself. Totally. It's all about coming home to you and just returning to yourself over and over and over again, and remembering who you are as a person. You just follow your heart. Exactly. 4 Seasons Radio, no lie. I did that for like 20 years. Glad it's over. Oh, congratulations. Yes, because that is so draining. What advice would you give to your younger self? Stop caring what other people think. That is what I would. It's amazing with social media. I wanted to do social media for so many years. It was like truly my passion. And I started and I would stop. I would start and I would stop. I would like post a video and then I wouldn't post again. And then I would post for 3 days in a row and then I would stop. And I was so afraid of what other people would think. And I didn't want to put myself out there because of what I thought my friend from the 8th grade would see and think of it. Like, I don't even talk to this person anymore, right? And when I say that, I don't mean someone specific, but I'm just saying, like, generally speaking, it's like we start to think of like the people we went to high school with, and are they going to judge us? And it's like, who cares? Because more often than not, other people are not worried about you. They are so worried about themselves. And if they are worried about you, then okay, like, go get a hobby, go do something better with your time, because I'm out here living my life and doing what I want to do, because I only get one and I have to live it for me and not for other people. So I would tell my younger self, stop caring what other people think, because you have to live the life that you want to live for you. And it goes by so fast. Like I said, I'm 37 and sometimes I'm just like, where has time gone? And life is truly a gift and it's so short. And right now I'm just in a season where I want to make every single moment count. I want magic in the mundane. I want laundry to be fun, right? Because I don't want to wait until those big moments of going on a 2-week vacation to live life and then go back to the regular, hustle and grind. It's like I want to find magic in all of the moments, big and small, because life is mostly the small moments, right? The big moments are fewer and further between. And so when you can pause and take stock of those small moments, I think that's what makes the day-to-day so much more enjoyable. So I would say, don't care about what other people will think. Don't be guilty for protecting your heart. Exactly. Maybe you shouldn't. No. Kirk, the Bible says protect your heart over everything and determine the course of your life. Exactly. Well, when you get older, friendships aren't so important because I'm 46. Oh, I think friendships are important. I think friendships just evolve and they change and they ebb and they flow. And it's important to understand that people are going through different things in their life, just like you're going through different things. So it's just about getting real with yourself and, having those open conversations about dynamics changing if it's, affecting you. But, you also have to have the understanding of people are, busy doing, things that are important to them and in their life. So it just depends. Obviously, there's different circumstances. Black women becoming harsh at extreme loneliness this year. Oh, yeah, I feel like I've heard that from a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people experienced that. I know that I definitely had a year where I would say I went inward a lot. And so, yeah, I can kind of relate to that for sure. Your confidence is absolutely unmatched. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Setting boundaries hurts a lot of people. Been there. Yes, it can be really hard. And the thing is, sometimes it can hurt you when you're the one setting them, but it's just like I said, you know, the guilt that follows setting a boundary because you're the one that's changing the dynamic. So you can feel a little selfish. You can feel a little like on edge, like, am I doing the right thing? So I get it. And it's trial and error, right? And that's all that life is trial and error. We're just doing the best that we can moment to moment with the information that we have at that time. I always say it's so important to also just recognize, you know, what your intention is when you're setting a boundary and just be rooted in your intention. Because as long as you're good on your intention, right? I intended to do this to protect myself, or I intended to do this to preserve my energy, or I intended to do this to improve our dynamic, or whatever it is. As long as you're good on your intention and you're clear on your intention, more often than not, you're fine, because you can just keep going back to, you know, your why of why you did it. And let's just say the boundary isn't sitting right with you. I think it's also important with boundary setting that people don't talk about is it's okay to also be self-aware and say, like, I made a mistake. Like, this isn't what I want, and this isn't working out for me, and I actually don't feel good with this choice or with this decision, and I want to apologize. Like, owning your part. I think people sometimes forget you are allowed to change your mind, and if that person doesn't accept the fact that you're changing your mind, then that's also their choice. They don't have to accept it, but you're allowed to put it on the table. And I feel like we are too scared to go back on things that we said. And it's like, we're humans. We're not really sure what it is that we want sometimes. And then when you get into the new dynamic, maybe you're like, oh, this doesn't work. So having those open dialogues and those open conversations can really help with that. OG said, where are you from? I'm from DC. Season said 4 years for me, and I feel awesome. Yes. They were just hurt, unhealed. People hurt people. Yeah, I mean, that can happen for sure. I think that sometimes we can inadvertently hurt people. Sometimes it's, you know, intentional. Sometimes it's not. So it just, you know, depends on the person, the situation, and the circumstances. Life can be scary if you don't set boundaries. Yeah, boundaries are definitely important. Sister, you're giving therapist vibes. You are the best. Really good content. I need your live. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. That's so nice.